Hey folks, welcome to Pokemon Black and White. I say black and white because I'll be playing through both games in two different styles. Some of you hoped this would happen. I argued quite insistently that it would not, but I actually had this idea before anybody suggested it, so shut up. The two playthroughs will A, be a standard 6 Pokemon run of Pokemon Black, and B, a solo run, 1 Pokemon run of Pokemon White. Now, the standard run won't come into play until after the first gym, because I won't get my first team member until then. But I'll be flipping between the two, editing, showing differences, showing interesting things about one version or another, or one challenge or another. But, rules for the standard run, 6 members, any Pokemon I want because I choose the members, don't try to suggest things. Rules for the solo run are as they've been for me before. 1 Pokemon for combat, except where the game forces otherwise for double or otherwise battles. No using revives. No evolving the Pokemon, keeping them unevolved. And use as many HM slaves as necessary. I don't really care much about HM slaves. You got 2 rivals here. You got Cheren and Bianca. They're both rivals. They're both pretty threatening, unlike, say, Wally and May in Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. And that takes care of the intro. That's basically the same as every intro in every Pokemon game ever. So, yeah, don't feel bad that I could just completely rule off the first female professor in the series. You know, it's not a big deal. Let's go visit the world of Pokemon. And here we are in Unova Town. Black and White waste no time in getting the intro kind of out of the way. Got our rivals right up in here. We got Pokemon in that box. And it's very quick and refreshing compared to, say, like Diamond and Pearl's very slow opening. And even Ruby and Sapphire were a bit slow for my taste. Professor Juniper sent these 3 Pokemon for us, and we get to pick them. Seems kind of out of the blue, but, you know, for the sake of efficiency, I'm okay with that. I'm gonna be patient. Cheren is a very impatient person. I like that the 2 rivals actually have pretty well-defined characters, even though they're not particularly deep. And here are our 3 starters. Got Tepig, Snivy, and Oshawott. None of which I'll be using at length, but I'll use Tepig just for the sake of it. In my own personal first playthrough, I chose Oshawott, and it was destructive. And I'm fairly sure the other two are just as useful. Now, one rival will get the one that's weak to your Pokemon, and one rival will get the one that's strong to you. Cheren always gets to the one that's strong, Bianca the one that's weak. But at this point in the game, it doesn't really matter, because all the Pokemon can do is tackle and pound. And here's our first battle. Wasting no time. Now, battles have gotten a huge aesthetic upgrade in Black and White. The camera's more dynamic. Overall looks a lot better. See, it's moving. Oh my god. And Pokemon are constantly in motion in animation. And it doesn't really matter your tactics for these first few battles, but I always stick with Tail Whip and then Tackle, Tackle, Tackle. So Tepig is, well, I'll say right now, since you probably won't see it in the playthrough, it's the third firefighting starter in a row. I feel like they're getting unoriginal. Like, I don't know, it's frustrating. But Snivy and Oshawott are both, I believe, just solid elementals. They're all very capable as starters go. I get just enough experience to not get the level up. It's perfect. Haha, humor, look at that. Now, I'm not sure what is less believable, the fact that the Pokemon did this, or the fact that Bianca didn't notice. Like, I don't know how they got on the walls. They're probably on the ceiling, too. Tepig is not a spider pig, so I don't think he can do that normally. But the TV's unharmed, so it's fine. And now we get a fight with Cheren. Cheren, I think, is supposed to be the, like, more competent of the two, but honestly I found them equally difficult throughout the course of the game. So, it doesn't really matter. Cheren's a bit more serious. A little too serious, honestly. Anywho, for the second battle, it's basically the same as the first battle. You can follow the same tactics. I decided to just go for tackle, 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 not even bother with stat drops. But yeah, not too different, so I'm just going to be editing out most of this battle. Like so. You see, you got a little down to the wire, but it's not a difficult fight. Unless you constantly use non-damaging moves, you probably will not lose. Yes, it is. Now look at that, you see that? He was moving while there was text on screen. Such technology has not been seen in Pokemon so far. Anywho, this is the menu down there. It's not quite as convenient as the menu in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. You just need to press a button to bring it up. But, you know, not too bad. Just setting up the options. This is the stuff that you get. Those are the badges. Spoilers. And head downstairs. Mom in this game is even less caring than moms in previous games. Like, you remember how in Red and Blue she was, like, getting choked up about you leaving, and then Gold and Silver, they were like, oh, I wish you'd called me first. And then, for the rest of them, they're just like, yeah, go on your adventure, have fun. And this one's like, yay, you're going Pokemon, get out of here. they really do nail down, like, the tutorial stuff, but not in a heavy-handed way. It's like, hey, remember to heal, and they'll make you remember by healing you. Anyway, the cross transceiver is kind of like the phone from Gold and Silver, except even less useful. You'll see it in use a bit later. That's, of course, them showing off the amazing technical capabilities of the DS. And that's the obligatory guy who marvels at technology. There's one in every game, you know. Anyway, we need to find Bianca, because she's having problems somehow. Now, Bianca's dad is actually, like, the one reasonable character, like the character everybody's been waiting for, saying that it's completely unreasonable to send small children out with monsters to fight the world. But of course, everyone blows him off. Yeah, that's the Pokemon world in a nutshell. Makes no sense. Anyway, water's very pretty. You got that shadow effect going on with the railing. This is a lot more technically, aesthetically pleasing than previous Pokemon games. And this is Juniper's lab. I beat you to it, Cheren. Anywho, Juniper specializes in the origins of Pokemon. It's never really expanded upon. I'm not gonna nickname Tepig because I'll be replacing him for my Lillipup. Astonished. Yeah, man, the Pokedex is the Pokedex. It's the same it's always been. Ta-da! So you may have noticed that she said Route 1. Unova has actually reset the routes, starting from Route 1 rather than like 301 or whatever. And this is Tepig's Pokedex entry. And oh my god, look who it is. It's the mother again. See, she's just not surprised by anything. She's just, like, such a lackadaisical parental figure. Bye-bye. Yeah, the town map is actually really, really useless in this game. And once I show you the map of the region, you'll understand why. This is the bag. It's mostly empty right now. So yeah, look at this region here. It's a circle. A hexagon. But you will never get lost. That's our final destination, the Pokemon League. We'll get there eventually. And by putting a check in that box, put that on the quick list for the registered items. More on that later. And welcome to the catching Pokemon tutorial. Unfortunately, not optional. But, you know, pretty quick. That there's a Patrat. It sucks. That there is a Minchino. It is overrated. Anyway, she uses Pound, weakens it, and uses a Pokeball. It's the same as it's been all previous Pokemon games. And if this is your first Pokemon game, okay then. I don't know many people who are like that. But I guess it's first for everybody. For somebody. And hooray for her, she got a Patrat. And we got some Pokeballs. So now we can catch our very own Pokemon of the two that are on this route. One of which is Patrat and the other is Lillipup. I'll complain about this a lot, but the opening routes of this game are pretty barren in terms of Pokemon diversity. And I sort of understand why. I'll get into that later, once it's not spoilery. But it's just a little bit frustrating. And up they go. And up we go. There are two Pokemon on this route. First up is Patrat, which is basically the Rattata, the Sentret, the Zigzagoon of this game. Except it's not a very good HM slave, so it's basically skippable. And second off is Lillipup, right here. Lillipup and his evolutions are actually pretty useful, considering how early in the game you can get them. You'll see NPCs using them a lot. Anyway, this guy was actually a bit of a butt to catch, since he was a 2KO. I could only weaken him once. And actually wasted a bunch of Pokeballs. You won't see it because I cleverly edited out the video. But it actually cost me like 2 or 3. Gotcha! And this will be our comrade for the duration of Pokemon White. And what will Lillipup's nickname be? I know, I'm amazing. Lilo. And, yeah, she has a potion. Go talk to her. I didn't. And I was afraid that I was going to run into some more Pokemon, so I put Lilo up front preemptively. But luckily I made it through unscathed. Like so. Now if you catch both a Lillipup and a Patrat, or 2 of each, or whatever, you'll win this competition. But you don't actually get anything out of it, so you can just kinda tromp on through. And this is the extent of the transceiver, the cross transceiver. It's portable cutscene for, like, people who are... It's completely useless. There's no reason for it. Other to show off anime mugshots. And here's the first new town, Cumula Town. This is the classic show me around music from every Pokemon game, which is awesome. You know, retro nostalgia. This game really does strike a good balance between retro nostalgia and completely revamping the important stuff. It has enough callbacks to the original games to keep old fans satisfied. And they do point out the whole someone's thing. Kind of silly. I actually went through most of the game without ever talking to that person. Anywho, this is the Pokemon Mart, now inside the Pokemon Center for ultimate convenience. It's, I don't know, kind of pointless, but also convenient, so it's all good. And that takes care of this episode, finally. So, let's save, and inspect Lilo's stats and whatnot while we do it. And I will see you guys next time.